Welcome back to the Just for Clicks podcast. Today we have a special guest in the house. His name is Sean Willits.
Hello.
We're going to be doing some emails. We're going to be doing some news. We're going to be doing some hot takes, controversial opinions.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
In no particular order.
Oh, really?
Sean, what do you want to do first? You want to look at what's trending on Twitter?
Just
get your off-the-cuff reaction?
Oh, decisions. I'm not good at decisions. We could do the hot takes on Twitter.
Okay, the hot takes. The first hot take we have today is hot dogs are sandwiches. That's from Ryan Michael. This is really important stuff. It makes sense that we're talking about this. What do you think, Sean?
I don't know. I don't think I agree. Usually the bread is only cut halfway, and it doesn't reach the other. It doesn't cut the on the other end. So I would agree if it was a sandwich if the bun was completely separate from itself, like it was just two separate pieces of bread. But most hot dogs are not. So therefore, I say no.
That actually makes sense. I mean, I just think like it doesn't make any sense that they're sandwiches. They're not. All right, we have another one from MJ Walsh. He says cartoons have never been better. People just like to pick and choose what they remember and what they look at today.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. I think cartoons they've never looked better. There's a certain quality to, the way it was back then, but I think it's true. I think we have, a lot better cartoons nowadays. They just look a lot better. But there is a certain charm to, 90s cartoons and 60s cartoons, just anything. But I don't know. It's all about the writing at the end of the day.
I feel like there's more cartoons out now as well.
Yeah.
Like the volume of cartoons has increased.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not as familiar with what's going on with the kid cartoons, the whole scene today. But, I grew up on, the Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab and Batman the Animated Series. All that stuff seems really classic to me, But
yeah.
I have no clue what's even happening.
No,
I'm sure it's fine.
That's a good point, though, about the volume of cartoons, because there's just a lot more now.
There's like a ton on Netflix as well. Lots of different anime. I never even got into anime, so there's a ton of anime that I've never watched.
Yeah, there's too much anime, actually. There could be too much.
All right, next one is from Tormented Raven. He says, pineapple belongs on pizza. Agree.
Yeah. Now, it can go on pizza, yeah.
Powerful statement.
Depends on your mood.
I think it's just like a meme to clown on pineapple on pizza, but it's actually not bad at all. It tastes really good. I get pineapple on pizza probably half the time I order pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, either that or just cheese. Got another one from Bouncy Ball Studios. He says, age does not equal wisdom. Age plus experience equals wisdom. As someone who often has disagreements with their own parents, the phrase, listen to your elders, feels too vague and misleading of an advice, especially for young people. Nah, you should listen to your elders. You should do it. Stop questioning everything. Shut up. Conform. What do you think, Sean?
I think it depends on who you respect, just in general. Doesn't matter their age.
I think it also depends on if, the person giving the advice, follows their own advice.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times parents will, say, don't have sex before marriage, but then they, that's how, you were born, because they had sex before marriage. Or, don't do this or don't do that. But, when they were younger, they did that exact thing.
Yeah.
So it's how am I supposed to respect you and what you're saying if you don't follow your own advice? And it's well, now I'm older and I can look back and see that was messed up. But it still doesn't matter. You already did it.
Yeah.
Say the parent went out drinking a lot and partied a lot when they were kids, and now they have a kid and they don't want their kid to go out and party and drink a lot. It's well, you already fucked up. You already set a bad example.
Yeah.
So you have no ground to stand on. You can't expect anyone to take you seriously when you don't follow your own rules.
Yeah, and I think it really is just who do you look up to? Who's a person that you really respect, and it's usually the people that follow their own advice and their own, or follow the stuff that they're telling you
practice
to do.
What they preach.
They practice what they preach, and they walk the walk.
Yeah,
so
I mean, and there's tons of people who have have become stunted, emotionally. they may be like in their 60s, but they have the mind of like a 14-year-old, just because like they're so stubborn and they've never done the work to actually progress themselves and fully realize themselves as a human being. And then there's other people who are very, very wise and respectable. So I think it all just depends on the person. But as a general rule of thumb, you should try to listen to your elders and respect people who have more experience than you.
I respect my elders in kind of a different way, actually, mostly because through what they've done in their life, they were an assistance in, the people I know and me, becoming into existence. So I respect them that their existence made me exist in a certain way. So I appreciate that.
All right, the next one is from Glenn. He says the Bumblebee movie is... Oh, hold on a second. There's a lot of Bumblebee movie tweets for some reason. I put out the call on Twitter for controversial opinions, and apparently... Oh, yeah. Nostalgia is my greatest enemy. The Last Night gives me the feeling of being a kid again. Bumblebee, although, is the superior film. It doesn't quite give me that feeling. That's from Landon Joseph. I personally did not like the Bumblebee movie. I thought it was really... boring and really paint by numbers, and I prefer a good old fashioned Bayham Michael Bay action extravaganza nonsense any day to like just the boring trivial scripts and the way it was shot. I just didn't like Bumblebee at all. I thought it was just a big step down. I like the cocaine fueled adrenaline Transformers movies. I actually like all the Transformers movies. I think they're all good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch them again, but I probably will. They're just so watchable. You can throw them on in the background, and like they're horrible, but I love them. They're just so entertaining. Yeah, the effects look amazing. I mean, the effects they've got great sound design, and the sequences are great. There's always crazy shit happening, like really toxic masculinity type stuff going on. And it's just fascinating to watch. One of my favorite, I know for sure, it's like a study on toxic males. One of my favorite action scenes is like from the second one is the death of Optimus Prime or whatever. In the second one, it's like in the forest. It's like the coolest thing. That's a great sequence. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I was like, I wasn't even a Transformers fan. I was like, this is like so realistic and so awesome. I really like that part. There are things I like about it, but actually, I can't say anything about Bumblebee because I haven't seen it. Oh, you haven't seen it? I haven't seen Bumblebee. Yeah, I was really looking forward to it when it came out, and I was just super disappointed. I bought it. Oh. I bought it for like $20. Oh, so you have it? I got it. No, it's bad. It's really bad. Man. Yeah. I would never watch it again. I like the girl. Got John Cena in it. He's terrible. Yeah, I like the Haley Steinfeld girl. Oh, she was so terrible in it. She's great in other things. I like her in other things, but the script, it's really the script that was the problem. She's great as Gwen Stacy in the Spider-Verse, but she's in that. But and Edge of 17, she's great in that. But really, I like that movie. I can really see what they were doing, like with her character was like. Just really bad, like in Bumblebee. Like, I mean, I might like it, but it was cringe, bro. It is very cringe. It's very like the guy, the kid from E.T. Like, it's very much like that. Like, they're trying to do the E.T. thing where it's like, oh, Bumblebee is E.T. and she's like the little kid. They're trying so hard to force this emotion. Yeah. And, if it worked for some people, then that's great. It totally did not work for me. I thought it was really forced and put on, and then it wasn't earned. I'm just bitter. I'm just bitter for wasting $20 on that movie. I could have spent that $20 on so many other cool stuff. Yeah. Okay, I think that does it for the hot takes. Oh, yeah, the last hot take was from myself. I said birthdays are for children. What do you think about that, Sean? I think it's a good way to put it. I think you probably mean it more intense than that, but I was telling you I think it's true. They're kind of more meant for children, and it's more like a happy child experience because the older you get, people are just not really happy to age. They don't actually want to hear it. They don't actually want to hear that they're aging. So in that way, it's good. But I like it because like we should have more times to celebrate people's existence. So
No, we should have less times. This is like a country of people who just like love celebrating themselves.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. It's like that's what we have Christmas for. We all give each other presents and then we move on with our lives and the rest of the year. I'm tired of birthdays. I'm tired of Mother's Day, Father's Day. Now there's Grandpa Day and Grandma Day. What are all these stupid ass days?
I'd never heard of that before.
It's just an excuse to buy material objects.
Yeah.
And it's an excuse for people to get pissy and upset and feel personally offended if someone forgets their special day.
And forgets it to write on their Facebook wall.
It's like you know, like birthdays are really lit when you're a kid because you're a little baby kid and you know it's like fun and you get to have a party and everything. But like as you grow up, you're never gonna match that same level of intensity and fun. Your birthday's never gonna be that cool again. People aren't gonna give you as many presents because they don't care. And you're just gonna feel disappointed. Let's just cancel birthdays.
Yeah.
I'm tired of you know having to keep up and I have so many friends. I've got like hundreds of friends.
Yeah.
Do you think I can possibly remember everyone's birthday? I never even go on Facebook anymore. So how am I supposed to know? And it's just so empty. You know, leaving a happy birthday on people's Facebook walls.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's a total joke.
Well, you know, it's nice to be like, hey, you know, I remember you, you know. Or like
I validate your existence.
Validate your existence. So,
yeah, that's all it is.
Want to keep in touch. You know, that's kind of how I treat it. But I feel like if we all like liked each other a lot more, like if the society kind of got along a lot better, it would make a little more sense to have days where we celebrate, you know, people a lot. But you know, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for people who are just like, you know, the same platform that like Facebook where people debate each other endlessly. That's like its main priority is also devoted to birthdays. you know, it's kind of weird.
It's the birthday website.
It's also the birthday website.
Yeah.
Like
cancel birthdays. I'm so over it.
Hashtag cancel birthdays.
All right, I think that'll do it for the hot takes this week. Let's go ahead and just quickly kind of browse Twitter and see what's going on in the news, huh?
Oh yeah.
Trump escorted from news briefing by Secret Service following shooting outside the White House. Did you see the show?
I saw it. Yeah,
that was cute.
He was escorted back in like pretty quickly. It was just there was just some shooting outside in DC. Yeah. It was just around, like it wasn't related. I don't think it was related to him, but maybe. I don't know.
America's crazy, bro.
I didn't really read into it.
America's insane.
Yeah, there's actually like there's a possibility there's like a lot of assassination attempts like on the president. It's just they don't like to talk about it. They don't want people to get the idea. Like, you know, when you talk in the media about something, it gets people's brains going. I could do that.
Gets them fired up.
Gets them fired up. So there's a possibility that there's a lot of attempts. They just don't report on it because they don't want to promote that, which is smart, you know. But,
interesting.
It makes you think about what they're trying to promote, what's in the media. But,
I wonder who's gotten the closest. That sounds like a movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, Trump has had a lot of attempts.
Really?
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah. No, they're pretty good at. Secret Service is pretty fucking dope.
Oh yeah.
I think they're pretty on it.
Well, they got a lot of they got a lot of security tactics.
Good for them.
I'm not worried.
Governor Newsom says no money in the piggy bank to fund fund Trump's 400 weekly unemployment order. Yeah, so hear about this, like, Trump extended the unemployment to $400 a week.
He said no money in the piggy bank for something so serious. Wow.
Yeah, and you know, the states have to provide $100 of that, so they have to provide 25% of that, and the federal, I guess, covers the other $300.
Okay.
And Gavin's like, we don't have that money. Like, we don't have, we're all tapped out. Wow. So, they're going to start making cuts somewhere.
Well, you know, we pay so much in goddamn taxes. Like, where the hell does it go?
Taxes. Where does it go?
Where does it go, Gavin?
Where does it go?
Where's money go? Like, you're talking about, like, years of taxes? It's just, whenever, like, these people talk, it's like, I'm just like, oh.
Let's see. This is kind of boring. All this news is boring.
It's very boring.
I'm bored.
It's very boring. Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf reportedly being eyed for Iceman role in the MCU. That would be hilarious. I feel like I thought he was done with Hollywood. I thought he said he was never going to do a Hollywood movie again.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
They're eyeing him. That's kind of a funny like term, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like they're leering at him. Like these skeezy like Hollywood producers are just like leering at Shia LaBeouf with their eyes, like just sexualizing him.
Yeah.
You know, thinking about what he'd look like
in ice
and covered in ice and tight black speedos. It'd probably look pretty good.
Or yellow and blue, right? Because it's X-Men.
Did you ever watch that show where like Spider-Man's with like Hot Storm or whatever her name is, and like Bobby Frost, Iceman, whatever his name is.
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
I love that show.
Yeah.
I loved it as a kid.
Firestorm.
It made me so happy. It just blew, like when you're a kid, everything looks amazing. So like the animation looked so good. I was like I loved it so much. Dr. Doom was in it. I remember, and oh my god, it was amazing. And then I watched it later. I'm like, wow, this is really, really, really bad.
I liked when they pressed the button. And the walls would flip around.
I particularly enjoyed how he put on his mask, and it kind of looked like I don't know, it kind of looked like a condom going on. Because it was rolled up. It was rolled up like the way a condom is, and it's just really kind of, when you look at it now, it's like, I don't know, that looks great.
That's lit.
But yeah, it's good. It was good. I love that.
I don't know. What else is there?
I love the theme
What else is going on? All right, I think that's gonna do it for the news section.
Oh yeah, probably.
Give us better news next time.
Yeah, better news, man.
Come on.
Like, what's with this news?
More pressing news. So we have an email from Joe, and he says, question, "Hey Forrest, big fan. I remember you saying you were homeschooled at one point. As somebody in the same position myself, I know there are many positive and negative aspects to that lifestyle. Do you have any reflections on that time in your life? What did you like about it, and what did you hate about it? How do you think it changed you as a person? Thanks, Jack." Oh, I guess his name's Jack.
Yeah, you should go first.
Yeah, well, this is actually cool that Sean's here because we were actually both homeschooled. So, and you know, I think we both have our own unique experiences with it. Because the thing with homeschooling is, like, everybody is so different. Whereas, like, the public school is very similar experience. Mm-hmm. Whereas each homeschooler kind of has their own way of doing it. Some homeschoolers are doing it for a religious reason. Some are doing it just for a more ethical reason, or it really depends on the reasoning behind it and the curriculum you use, or the curriculum that you don't use. A lot of homeschoolers just choose to kind of be unschoolers, where they kind of focus on what the kid's interested in and just kind of teaching like basic life skills. And honestly, that can be a lot more helpful than just kind of grinding through papers and test scores and focusing on like raising your SATs and stuff. I had a lot of friends who didn't really focus on the academic side as much, and they're just as successful as the homeschoolers who focused on the academic side. For me, my mom, she was pretty she was like a taskmaster, you know. She gave me tests, and I had due dates, and I had to write papers, and it was pretty much like real school, you know. Just my mom was my teacher in all my subjects, and I had curriculums like that she would buy. And as I got older, I kind of cared less and less. Like, as I got into my teenage years, I kind of stopped taking the schooling as seriously. That was kind of around the time when my YouTube was really starting to take off, and I was making more money than my parents, and they were like, well, this is looking like a pretty good thing that he's doing. Like, we should like let him explore that. So they couldn't really argue with me. You know, I was doing pretty well for myself. And when you're finding that kind of success at a young age, it's doing your math test, you know, trying to find the square hypotenuse of the angle of, you know, this triangle. It doesn't really seem,
it doesn't really relate.
It doesn't really seem that pressing of a matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely appreciate my mom for being a good teacher and being flexible as I got older. But yeah, I really just think the best thing for me was just not going to public school. Yeah. I mean, I think the public schools in the United States are a total joke, and I'm not going to be sending my kid there.
No,
not on my life.
Never.
Yeah, I plan to homeschool my kid, and I think they're going to learn just as much, if not more, than what the public schools in the United States are providing. And then they also don't have the risk of, you know, being shot on a daily basis.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of pros. Yeah, that's great way of putting it. I'll just say, you know, how I got into it was I did, honestly, it was like right out of first grade. Like after first grade for me, like we were just, going full swing into me and my brother into homeschooling. My mom was just like, yeah, like I want to spend more time with you guys, because I love you. She's just like, I want to spend more time, and that's really the reason, But she was, she didn't like what they're teaching, and at the school, and she's like, she wanted to really see what she could do to kind of focus what we wanted, because we were like both really artistic, and we liked to, I liked drawing a lot, and my brother was also he liked sculpting, and we had specific interests. I think it works a lot. I think homeschooling really works well for kids who you can tell that they have something they want to do, and you go, okay, you obviously have a mission in your life, something to do. So you should be homeschooled. You should be like tutored at home. You should really so you can hone that skill. And I find that that's a good way to tell if you're, it's a good candidate for homeschooling. Because if that kid's just thrown into the schooling system, who knows if they're gonna do what they could have done if they had just focused on what they wanted to do. And not have that curriculum, thrown in their lives,
Yeah, it's kind of more interesting to watch a child develop naturally than try to shove this silly propaganda down their throats from such a young age.
And not to say that only special children should be homeschooled. I think you'll find that a lot of kids, are mostly like that, if you just, parents sat down there, but I'm just kind of generalizing, but I think every child is special, and every person is special, and everybody has a unique thing that they're bringing into the world. And it's nice when you have parents that treat kids like that and want to nurture what they want to do in life. And because it'll, with
I think
school,
we have to make parenting more of a priority in this country. Parenting has become such a hassle for parents, because we expect both men and women to both work full-time jobs in America, and so we just truck the kids off to preschool and then public school, and then they come home and they have 5 hours of homework, and it's parenting is becoming a thing of the past. We need one adult at the house managing the kids. Whether that be a man or a woman.
Totally.
There should be someone there running the house. And that's how it used to be.
We went backwards with that.
Yeah.
We went totally backwards with that.
And now we're raising generations of kids who aren't being parented in the way they should be. So I'm definitely going to be homeschooling my kids. I'm really looking forward to that. I won't be caught dead sending them to public school.
Yeah, I mean, there's some regret. I would have liked the experience, but I really honed my skills doing stop motion, and that was
both of us couldn't have the jobs that we have now if we went to public school.
I mean, we could have. It would just taken I don't know, another 10 years.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm impressed with the kids who weren't homeschooled who are doing stop motion now, because it's
awesome.
How did you find the time?
How did you find the time?
They just fill your day with busy work.
It's
impressive.
We're very impressed. We're both very impressed.
Yeah, but thankfully both Sean and I had the time to develop what we were actually interested in, and now we're doing that as a full-time job, and we're both very happy. We're not bussing tables or doing anything that we don't find fun. We actually get to make money doing this kind of stuff that we enjoy. It's still hard work, but it's actually a career.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the next email here. Okay, so just so you guys know, we got our buddy Austin joining us for the rest of this podcast. He just dropped by, and we're gonna hang out with him today. So you want to say hi, Austin?
Hi, Austin.
All right. Good shit. So we're gonna do another email here, and Austin, feel free to add your 2 cents. Baby mama drama featuring my sister, from Savan. Hey Forrest, my name is Savan, and I'm from Wisconsin. Me and you have had a few interactions, which is pretty cool. I'm a regular at your streams, so my name might look familiar. But boy, do I have a story for you. So I have an older sister, Shantae. She's 3 years older than me, 19. And let's just say she's never been the brightest. Okay. She's always made bad choices and been a real knucklehead. while I'm her little brother and I'm more easygoing and smart and try to do the right thing. So we're pretty much polar opposites already. Off to a great start. Off to the races. So when I entered high school a few years back, Shantae was a senior and I was a freshman. So I was thinking, yes, my sister's a senior, so I'm going to have all the friends and be so popular. But I was right. Kind of. She was popular, but for the wrong reasons.
Oh, no.
She had the reputation of a whore. Like, she fucked tons of dudes, and she cheated on her boyfriend at the time. As I was a 14-year-old, I was kind of shell-shocked, and I didn't know how to handle it. So I went to my parents, and they confronted her, and she admitted she slept around a lot. So I'm like, holy shit, I don't even know you, because when we were younger, we were so close and nice to each other, but since then we have become strangers, which I hate. So a few years passed, and long story short, she goes to college, eventually drops out after a year, and wastes $30K out of pocket from my parents. And she also got scammed out of $2,000 while she was at college and was in debt for a while. So that was interesting. But one fateful day, last year, I'm sitting at home playing Minecraft, and my mom is in another room freaking the fuck out. And I'm like, oh great, what did Shantae do today? What did Shantae do today? And I was like, I'm calling it. She's pregnant. And what do you know? She's pregnant. But get this. It's to some dude she was never even dating in the first place. Some wannabe gangster who thinks he's hard and shit. You get the picture. Real piece of shit. Like, he doesn't work, allegedly hits girls, just fucked up guy. And my parents are like, so what's the plan? You get an abortion? By no means do we support or dislike abortion. But what choice did she... Oh, what do you guys think about abortion, by the way?
Oh, Jesus.
Austin?
I mean, it's their body, their choice, you know?
Good man. Good man.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Man, this is a fucking train wreck. But what choice did she really have? Because her life would suck. And so would the kids, because the dad doesn't care and she doesn't know what she's doing. And this really broke my parents' hearts. Like, for me personally, I haven't been close with her for a long time, so I'm just not surprised by anything she does anymore. It's just one large disappointment at this point. So she continues with the pregnancy. She lived with us, and his side of the family never talked to us. Like, he didn't buy diapers, didn't see her or take care of her, nothing. But as soon as she has the baby, his mom shows up and everything, and that's where shit hits the fan. So his mom is an asshole, no surprise. And my parents have so much beef with him and everything. And at first we were like, fuck him. We won't even put him on the birth certificate. And dude won't even have to pay child support, so he's off the hook. So my nephew is born. He's a little boy named Hudson, a family name, and things go all right. Then fucking Corona happens. So we're like, okay, everyone, just stay put for the safety of my mom, who can easily get sick, and the baby, and fucking Shantae decides she wants to go get some dick and see the baby daddy. And my parents are like, no, don't do that for the sake of your son. And she said no and goes anyways. Eventually, she does this for months until she gets fed up of us telling her not to be so stupid, because the guy just wants to fuck and he doesn't care about Hudson, but she's so obsessed with him. She moves in with his mom and him. Keep in mind, we live in the most dangerous city in Wisconsin, and she's moving in to a real shitty area. So my parents are like, why? And she goes, I'm not happy here. So she moves out, and eventually we find out that she's been selling drugs, drinking, and all this stuff that a young mother really shouldn't be doing. So we're like, what the fuck are you doing, Shantae? Oh, and then one day we find out this piece of shit dude put his hands on her and beat my sister up. So my parents obviously flipped their shit and everything, and Shantae full on ghosted us for months. She only recently started talking to us because she stole $1,000 from my parents and then gave the money to the baby daddy. We see Hudson now, and apparently she's getting kicked out of the baby daddy's mom's place, so she has no choice but to come home, but she said she is only staying for a few weeks. Oh, and she also allegedly changed Hudson's name to the baby daddy's name. So he went from having the sweet family name of Hudson to fucking Cavante and whatever his last name is. So that explains why when I see him, he doesn't respond to his own name. I'm not calling him that shit though. Fuck that. But honestly, like, good that she's going to leave in 2 weeks because I don't want her around. I mean, I love her. She's my sister and I want her to be safe. But at this point, after everything she's done and how many times she's used and blamed us, I don't want her in my life, to be honest. She's only coming home for a week or two just because it's her only option. If it were up to me, I'd tell her to fuck right off, but that's just me. Maybe I'm too harsh. But what do you think, man? I'm 17, but I fucking hate that I have to deal with this shit, dude. It's so fucked up. Hope this is juicy enough for you. Save on. Yeah, that was pretty fucking juicy, dude. Man, yeah, wow. That's just such a situation.
That is really appreciate you giving us that story. I mean, yeah, it's really because that's hard. Yeah, and you're treating it with the appropriate responses.
Yeah.
So don't think that you're in the wrong, because your responses, from what I hear, are totally right. Totally
Super
correct.
legitimate. I mean, there's so many pathways and points where things could have changed, and it just seems like your sister is consistently making the wrong decision every single time. Mm-hmm. And I think you nailed it right on the head at the beginning of the email. You know, she's just not the brightest. You know, some people just don't have that kind of that cognizance that is necessary to live a successful and happy lifestyle.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, it's good that you recognize that, and you know, you're not putting up with her bullshit anymore. Maybe one day she'll get better, you know, for the sake of the kid. But right now, you know, it's just out of your control. I mean, you can only just, you know, watch it happen. I mean, you know, what do you guys think?
Yeah,
is there anything he can do?
I don't know. It's certainly her decision. You know, whatever she does, she's a grown adult, I guess. You know, but yeah, it is kind of tricky when you got a kid in the way there, a helpless child that you know doesn't know, you know. Can't do anything, you know.
Yeah, I would just say just focus on yourself, being a good example for this kid growing up. You know, you're his uncle, so he's gonna look to you as someone important in his life as he gets older. And the more you build yourself up and people around you, the more of a positive influence you'll be on him going forward. You know, hopefully everything works out. But yeah, like Austin said, that's pretty damn tragic. You know. It's not an easy situation that you're dealing with, and I wish you the best.
Yeah, I would just say, you know, you're approaching it appropriately. Yeah, I would just say go with love as much as you can, as corny as it sounds. But eventually, those people eventually turn around and go, oh, these were actually the people that were there for me, not the person I've been obsessed over for years. So that's a little, you know, light of hope for you. That you could rest on, and just go with love, because eventually they will see who was actually there for them. So that's what I can.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
I think approaching it from a place of empathy.
Yeah, always be empathetic. You know, always try and be empathetic, but as patient as you can.
Yeah, don't let her ever walk all over you though. You know, don't ever let her set the pace or make.
Oh
the
yeah,
rules.
set boundaries. I think
you have to set boundaries
is important. Yeah,
and you know, let her know when she's fucking up, and you know, let her know when enough's enough, and distance yourself from that situation. You know, as hard as it may be. You just have to focus inward, and hopefully that'll be enough to strike a positive influence in her life, and potentially your nephew's life going forward. Okay, let's move on to the next email. Yeah. If any of you guys have a life problem you're dealing with, and you know you need my expert advice, you can write in to justforclickspod@gmail.com. I'll do my darndest to kind of facilitate the necessary advice that you need to solve all your issues and make all your dreams come true. All right. Lego Men Films. He says, life advice, school troubles. Hey, Forrest. I've watched your videos for a while now and wanted some advice from you about some school stuff. I have this one guy who makes fun of me for liking Lego and doing stop motions, and since I'm going back to school in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have to deal with him again, and I was thinking I might just quit my YouTube channel so I don't get bullied. What would you recommend?
Gotta be yourself.
Yeah, the thing is with these bullies is they're very, very insecure. I'll just mock him, you know? I'll just be like, you're a tough guy, huh? Big tough guy. What do you do at home, big tough guy? Just call him tough guy a lot, and then he'll like that.
Yeah, tough guy is good.
Yeah. What's up, tough guy?
Tough guy. Hey, tough guy.
Hey, tough guy.
Because you're mocking them, but you're in on it. That's good.
Yeah.
You know, you're funny. You know,
just laugh at them. The best thing you can do with a bully is laugh at them.
It is. It really is,
because they are laughable.
Laughter is, and really the specific genuine oh man, you see the funniness in what they're doing. That's really the key.
The absurdity, because
the absurdity of how they're acting.
Deep down, they're actually hurting, and they're trying to move some of that hurt from themselves onto you. Yeah. So just bounce that shit right back to them.
Yeah, you have a passion. That person does not. Their passion is
It's
wrong.
so true.
Their passion is wrong. Their passion is making others feel bad, and it's that's that person is miserable. They're absolutely miserable.
And just remember that, you guys are all young right now. You're still in school, and this bully could turn out to be, a great person one day.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and they're young in their thoughts, and their brain is still forming, and they're probably just going through a phase. Most likely, these people kind of come around and go like, oh wow, I was just, I should have been going with a lot more like just being nice to people. Like
One thing about bullies is a lot of them kind of feed off other people's energy or responses.
yes.
And one way to do that is don't give them the time of day, or don't give them the satisfaction of getting a response out of them, because that's what ultimately these people are going after.
You can't ignore them, or else you're gonna look like a fucking pussy. But you can't give them the response that they're looking for. You have to kind of throw them a curveball. Okay, hopefully that helps. Just call him tough guy a lot.
Yeah, and also, this is a bit crazy, but I would recommend actually, be happy to see him in a weird way that it might not work, but try and be happy to have the interaction, and you might get a different response out of them.
Yeah,
You
gotta find the humor in it.
Yeah, emitting that energy, emitting that response, they might go like, "What's going on? You're happy to see me." It would be. It's just a different way.
Keep doing your animations, man.
Keep doing it.
Don't quit.
Don't quit.
Don't quit.
Double down.
Double down, if anything.
All right. So last email for today from Zay. He says, "Hard times. Yo, Forrest. What's up? My name's Isaiah. You can say my name on air. I'm a longtime fan. Been watching since early 2009. Wow. And your creativity and hard work ethic have really inspired me and gotten me through a lot of my own art projects and creative pursuits. I'm 23 and I've honestly been going through a really tough time this last year. I went through a really painful breakup with the love of my life back in September 2019 after being together for almost 3 years. We lived together at the time, so I was forced to move back into a really small apartment with my family where I am still living today. Even now, I'm finding it so hard to pick myself back up and get my shit together. I have very little motivation to do anything, even the things that I know benefit me or even make me feel a little less bad. Working on my film, animation, and music projects helps a little, but that lack of motivation is even stronger than the normal feeling of resistance that artists feel when trying to get back on their art. Whenever I get excited about one of my projects or an aspect of something I'm working on, I want to be able to show her or tell her about it, but I just can't. There's been absolutely no communication for months, and I just haven't stopped hurting. I know there are a lot of way bigger issues going on in the world right now, which I myself am definitely affected by as well, but this is something that I just can't seem to shake, and I just would really appreciate your perspective on things. Anyway, if you've read this, thank you for taking the time to do so. Keep being you and never stop doing the great shit that you do. Also, a late congratulations on your wedding and soon-to-be baby girl. Take care, brother. As Isaiah from Portland.
Cool.
Sweet. Thanks for writing in, Isaiah. I've been through similar situations, and I gotta tell you, it does get better with time. Time heals all wounds. It's not going to feel like this forever. One of the things that helped me growing up and figuring, the situations out with girls. I mean, that's a rough situation. You were with her for almost 3 years. That's a long ass time.
That will take time.
So it's going to take some time. Yeah. Don't kick yourself for feeling like you haven't got over her in the right amount of time. Everyone takes the amount of time that they need to get over it. But one of the things that helped me was just changing my routine, breaking up my kind of thought patterns by doing new and exciting things. Putting myself in situations that I was uncomfortable in or unfamiliar with is a really good way to kind of test your mental fortitude and to kind of break yourself from the loop that you're in. Because if you're still doing stuff and still thinking about how she would respond to it and what she would say, you're not in the right headspace. You kind of have to make new friends, date more, even if your heart's not fully in it. Just do it, just to kind of get your mind off things. I think that's really important. What would you say, Sean?
I would say, like it sounds like you're going through a bit of stuff. I would say just focus on being a little better every day. Try to be a little happier every day. If you're way down and just try and want to get way back up again, it's so much harder. But if you try and work your way up little by little, it's a lot easier instead of going from 0 to 100. So I would just say, be patient.
Yeah. What about you, Austin?
I mean, breakups are hard, regardless if it's 6 months or 3 years. Obviously, 3 years. It's going to take some time to heal, but time, is what Forrest said, time does heal all wounds. But it will get better. Put yourself back out there. Just try to work and focus on your projects. In terms of finding inspiration, go back to what first inspired you to create. Kind of go back to what you looked forward to doing in your creative endeavors, and dig deep into the things that make you happy, or the things that you want to communicate with your art, and kind of work with that and analyze what things you want to communicate and what things make you happy, because ultimately this art is for other people, but it's also for you.
Yeah.
So do what makes you happy. And it takes time to do so. I mean, it sounds like you're in a pretty rough spot right now, but things will get better for sure.
Yeah, see if you can kind of channel some of that anxious energy you're feeling into your art. See if you can kind of turn a negative into a positive, potentially. And yeah, I like what Austin said about kind of returning to the roots of where that spark, that passion came from. And sometimes it can be easy to forget why we're doing things, and we kind of lose track of ourselves. So returning to that place that once inspired you can be really healthy and really important. This is a personal one for me, just because I feel like I can relate to the situation. And for me, like I said, just kind of changing my routine. Whatever you're doing right now obviously isn't working, so change it. Don't do the same things you've been doing. Just get out of your bubble. Try to figure out different things you can do. Maybe if you're exercising, I don't know if you exercise or not. Definitely you should be exercising every day, going on runs, lifting weights, pushing your body to the limit. Change the food you eat, change the people you're talking to. Just change your life enough to where your brain kind of does a hard reset. So yeah, that'll do it for the podcast for today. Like I said, if you guys have any kind of questions, concerns, hot takes, juicy stories, send them in to justforclickspod@gmail.com. You can always email me there. And where can we follow you, Sean, on socials?
Oh, you can find me on YouTube. Just type in Sean Willits, and also on Instagram. I post pretty much every day on Instagram. It's Sean_Willits.
Nice.
And on Twitter, I post every day. On Twitter,
He's a big poster.
I'm a big poster, big old, just at Filmy Guy.
What about you, Austin?
I'm on YouTube at Austin Ramey. Ramey spelled Ramey, not Ramsey.
Ooh, sweet.
The chef. I wish. And then on Twitter at Real Austin Ramey, and Instagram at The Real Austin Ramey.
Nice. And I'll include links to all that in the description. But thanks for listening, guys, and join us next week for another Just for Clicks podcast.
Thanks, guys.